Great.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining us. Mary and I, Kelly, are family navigators for AutismUp and the Golisano Autism Center. We have Craig Jones from AutismUp going to talk about all of fall programming. But first, we always start, so some of our regulars will know, we are going to start with our introductions. So we would love to know your name, how old your children or child with autism are, and a temperature check, kind of a weather report. So I think you'll catch on, but when Mary and I go. So my name is Kelly Conlin. I, again, am a family navigator. My son is 9, and the weather report here is very sunny.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm Mary. I'm also a family navigator. I have 2 children. I have a 22-year-old son with autism and a 19-year-old daughter with 19-year-old daughter-isms. And the weather report is pretty sunny at my house too.
So great.
All right, so now we'll just pass it. Each person pass it.
Marette, I'm going to pass off to Marette.
Hi, I'm Marette. Hi. Today our house is pretty sunny. It's a good day.
Who do you want to pass it to?
Oh,
and you have to tell us how old your kids are. Did you tell us that?
Oh, no, my kids are 11 and almost 13. And my kid who's 11 is the one with autism.
Perfect. All right, pass it, Marat.
Jackie?
Hi, my name is Jackie. I'm 23 years old and I have autism and other disabilities.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us, Jackie. Jackie, who do you want to pass it to?
Heather? How about Allison?
Hi, I'm Allison. I have a 15-year-old son with autism, and the weather today is cloudy with a little bit of sunshine. And I should pass it to, let me see, Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie. I have a 13-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. The 5-year-old is officially diagnosed autistic, but we suspect the other 2 may also be. So we're actually having a really sunny day today, so we'll take it. Let's see. How about Roberta?
Hello.
Roberta, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your children and what's the weather at your house?
Oh, hi. My name is Roberta Comro. My son is Austin Comro. He's 12, and the weather here is pretty sunny in West Henrietta.
Great. Is there anyone else to pass off to? Janelle, do you want to go next?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle. My daughter Jadea is 9 years old, and she's autistic. Sunny where I am. Pass on to Allison.
I think, Heather, did you go yet?
Oh, sorry. No, my internet was unstable. I apologize. I'm Heather Cleary. I am the mother of 2 children, one with the autism diagnosis. He is 13, gonna be 14. And our weather here is quite sunny.
This is great. And I think we only have one more, Kelly. Correct me if I'm wrong. M&T. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. So.
Hi, my name is Mark. I have a 17-year-old son, Joshua, and the weather's partly sunny here today.
Great, lots of sunshine.
Yeah. All right. So just really the only thing we ask is for you to keep your microphones muted while Craig presents. He will have time for questions at the end. So if you can't remember them, you can put them in the chat bar and we can read those as well.
All right. Am I on? All right. Can everybody hear me? All right. So I've met most of you, so I'm glad to meet people that I have not. So right now, I guess we're going to talk about the fall term coming up. I also want to go back a little bit of kind of where we've gotten from here since COVID, and kind of, I know we have not been able to offer all of our classes as we want to. Trust me, we really, really want to. But I think, some of the guidelines have made it very challenging. So, but I'll go over kind of where we've been a little bit, what we're doing now, and what our plan is for the future. So what I'll show you next is this is what we're doing right now. So many of you who are in programs now, I'm sure you've seen this or have gotten communications from me. I'm sure many of you have gotten too many communications from me at times, so I apologize for that. But this is what we are currently in. So all of our terms have different amount of weeks. Well, our summer term is 8-week terms. Our fall, winter, and spring are all 12 weeks. So right now we are in our 5th week of our summer term. Our summer term goes to the end of August. Then we have a couple weeks of getting prepared for the fall. So again, I think that one thing that we've been trying to do right now is really trying to. And one thing I'll let you know is you see the classes on here. And I'll show you a link to go to get our descriptions if you need our class descriptions, just because I could talk about our classes for hours and hours and hours and whatnot. So, but again, and I'll say this, I'm always available by email, as you guys probably know, or by phone. So I can always answer your questions at any time. But anyway, this is our fall term. We are doing virtual and in person. To be honest, before COVID hit, I didn't know really much about virtual at all. But it's actually given us a great opportunity to, for people that have not been ready to come back, people from out of Monroe County here are taking some of our classes. And, we have instructors that are our current staff, but end up moving out to Boston or Texas. And it's kind of cool to be able to offer a variety of supports. So, but yeah, so this is kind of, again, our summer term. As you'll see, a variety of in-person and whatnot. We are doing some classes right now over at Nazareth's Training Center. Those are awesome, running in a soccer program, and everything's going well. I will say, this is probably, if you combine the personal training, the virtual in-person, probably the most successful of registration-wise numbers that we've had. But that being said, we're only offering about 25% of all of our classes. We know we have not been offering exploring sensations. We have not been offering body awareness and, body awareness. Cooking with friends is a huge one. Boyzone, just name a few. Bowling, basketball. So those have been a struggle to be able to offer based on some of the COVID guidelines. And as you guys, I'm sure COVID is coming back in some ways. So it's I go ahead and plan for to open up for all of our classes, and then I get the setback of this. So, but I'll go over those and what it looks like. So this is our current summer. what we're offering. Again, that ends at the end of August. As on our website, and here's the link as well, but each term we've had to update our safety guidelines. Our safety guidelines are just kind of guidelines for when people do, for the most part, are taking classes in person at the Golisano Autism Center. As many of you guys, or at least a few of you are in here right now, have received, when we first started, I think our last class was on March 14th. And then we opened back up in July of last year for personal training, and then October for some of our in-person group classes. As some of you guys know, you received the screening phone calls from myself or some of our team, and we've kind of reduced that a little bit. And now we have these safety guidelines that really just, we basically have you review and sign off on before you can come to the building for in-person classes. So they're really the guidelines are designed for you and for us and for the participants, for everybody to be safe, because a lot of people are not open as much as we are, or offering, or have been as long as we have been. So again, feel free to reach out to me anytime you have questions, but our guidelines are on our website. If you go to autismup.org, programs and classes, guidelines are right there along with our calendars. So preparation, just a couple things I'm going to go over. And I know the first thing I said, July 1st of last year is when we started back up. That was our phase 1. We're kind of, I would say, in our phase 3. Our phase 3 is our last stage until we're in phase 4, which our phase 4 means we're open up for everything. So currently we continue to be in phase 3. Just a couple of things to let you guys know for, some of our staff and our training. We do a lot of prep work. So, we definitely take, family feedback, as you guys will tell, or I'll reach out to you all about your feedback on how our classes are doing. We want, feedback on anything, quality, new classes that aren't working, anything that really can help us with our quality. I can tell you right now, some of our classes that we currently have are because of parents saying, what about this class? And what about this class? So to be honest with you, it's kind of cool. We can be creative as we want to be. And it allows us to be really flexible. So just as some of the things that we kind of do is, again, and then we also, we have team meetings, every quarter. We meet much more frequent than every quarter, but very long ones, trainings. We bring in outside consultants a little bit. I'm sure some of you guys might be familiar with TCI, Therapeutic Crisis Intervention Training. We're a hands-off organization, but the de-escalation pieces of TCI is very important. So we really want to make sure that our staff have all the tools they need. And again, our team, we have, myself, like our program, we have about 3 full-time staff and about over 30 per diem relief staff. So, mostly the full-time staff, we meet every week. I also meet with our personal fitness instructors, our tech people, our tech support, our facilities, our managers on duties. So there's just a lot of communication. So there's a lot of preparation. So that's why I try to open registration at least 1 month in advance, because we have to prepare and make sure that we have everything in place, make sure the staff are trained, make sure the staff have all the tools they need, and kind of go from there. So that's a little bit of what, I have, my full-time staff do class observation reports in virtual and in person, and really just give feedback on the classes. And we're continuously analyzing all of our classes. So that's kind of how we do things. I feel like, we hire the right. Yep. Oh,
Okay.
We really look at who we're hiring when we bring on people. We do observations before they're hired. We do training before they're ready to come on full board. So I think we just want to make sure that everything is ready to go. Sometimes, we even have and I'll just say this, an incident review committee where, anything, unfortunately, if something ever happens, we continually look at incidents and how we can build on our skills, support individuals, put support plans in place, whatever we can do. So that's kind of some of the things that we do regarding just preparing and staff training. Class planning, I'll go over this next one. Class planning, a little bit regarding that is we start with, as you guys definitely, some of you guys know, is, about a week before I open up classes for everybody. I do offer families rollover opportunities to keep their spots. Those are usually go really well. And we have a really good retention rate. So I think I try to make it very easy for you to roll over classes. I take the kind of this whole step out of yours. So you basically just tell me what classes you want, and I enroll for you. We just want to make sure that, one thing part of the process is making sure that on your campsite profile, all your forms are updated. Everything is updated so that we know how to best support the individual, your family member. We go over those profiles. We create like little, we call them quick looks, but they're summaries of how, for our staff that review them, to make sure before they go into any class and work any class, support any class, they have to make sure that they review every quick look. And a quick look is what works for the individual, what doesn't work, triggers, coping strategies, all that, so that we're prepared. And those are, I call that a living document. Those are continuously updated based on your feedback and what we see. And we're all about, family around circle support, what best is going to work for those individuals. We are all individualized as much as possible. Right now, as some of you guys know too, we're doing a little bit of safety planning. We have to make sure that people are coming back because of COVID guidelines that are safe to come back and can meet the standards. So if you haven't been to the GAC yet for any of the classes, we just call you. It's probably 15, 20 minutes and kind of just go over what it's going to be like. I go over the procedures with you, what it's going to look like, so you're not surprised when you get there. And we kind of go from there. Usually, a new family, I come in, bring them in for a tour. I can help them through the computer process with them, because some of it can be challenging when you're registering, or at least linking up to our campsite registration system. So, but right now I try to do that virtually or by phone as well. So those are kind of, I think too, we don't, and I'll say this, we don't guarantee a one-to-one type support. We don't do that. But what I'll tell you is that when people enroll in the classes, and I monitor all this because I'm actually the person that enrolls everybody, we just see, the needs, the supports needed, and we really gauge the support for that class, staff support, based on what we feel is going to be the need and what it's going to take to make the class successful. That's kind of how we're doing that, and that's our planning process. So as you can tell, there is a lot of behind the scenes type information. Now I will share with you next our fall term. I'm to be honest, this is not totally, this is 95% done. I'm still waiting on a couple things. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to open up for all of our classes yet, just because of the COVID restrictions are coming back a little bit. We're really trying to, now that being said, I will say that if for some reason, in a month from now, the restrictions are lifted and we don't have to follow guidelines like this, and we can be a little bit more loose, I'm totally fine with a lot of those popular classes like Exploring Sensations, Cooking with Friends, Boy Zone, Girl Power, bringing them back for a shorter, maybe a 6 to 8 week term for the fall. So I'm not closed the door on those type of things. It's just it takes a while to plan for this, and we have to be, starting the process up. A couple of differences for this term. We did add a kind of a drum circle class, which is I'm pretty excited about, and also a music in person class. So we did add to some of our classes, our in person. I am still working with, I don't know if you guys have been to the Golisano Training Center. It's gorgeous. And so I'm trying to work with them. I still might be able to add some of the, maybe potentially basketball or soccer or running again. Basketball might be a tough one. So, I know bowling's a big one. So we're looking at that as well. So continually monitoring what it's going to look like. As I said, we would rather be open for everything. It's been quite some time, and it's kind of, in my opinion, getting old. But this is kind of what we're going to offer. I don't know if you guys know a lot about some of these. Again, you can feel free to give me a call. Personal training I would say, is a huge one-to-one personal training. I would say I've been with AutismUp 3 years. I would say, I don't know, 2 years ago, we had 4 personal training classes a week. Now we have well over 80. and they're very, it's popular. It's very individualized. So, we recently, a couple of semesters ago or terms ago, we introduced a class called Motion Dynamics. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of Pilates, yoga, a lot of high energy and whatnot. So, but yeah, so all of our classes, again, are on the website, a little bit more descriptions, but they're all lesson based. They're all, staff are trained on them and kind of go from there. So I know you guys might have some questions about this information. My goal is to, as I said, open up all of our classes as soon as possible. If I can do it in the middle of fall, I will. Winter as soon as possible. So that is the plan. So I just got to, so, oops, sorry. I'll go over that question in a second. So we do have social classes in person right now. We have Teen Connect, which is 12 to 15-year-olds on Saturdays. We have Alpha U, which is 16 and between 16 and 29. We have 2 classes and they usually kind of good. We have up to, I can only have about 13 to 12 people in each class like that. So, those both filled up last time. Art is in person, so those are some of the social classes that are in person. The Boy Zone, the Girl Power is just a little bit more challenging because, those classes require a little bit more support and, to be honest, hands over hands sometimes and hands on. And it's tough to do right now. And we, as you guys know, we like to use the gym space too for some of our social classes. So, I can tell you right now in Boy Zone, and I remember having 4 people trying to be on the trampoline at the same time. It's tough to do right now with that. So that's what some of the setbacks are with that. So, hello. So, hi, Josh.
I have a question.
All right, so just a couple things, and I know we'll go to questions. If you haven't already, again, I really do try to make the process very easy for you. And so just as you'll see, if you go to our website, program AutismUp.org, programs and classes, you will see this section right here. So where it says the first arrow, it says, and you'll see in green, it says family enrollment form. If you do not have an account with us through Campsite, that's the link to go to create it. That's where you go ahead and create all your forms. That's in make sure that we have all the information that we need. And so that is the first step. So if you call me and say, I want to learn, start registering for class, or I want to learn, get in the process, that's what you'll have to do. What I will tell you too, though, is even if you're not ready for classes, and if you're not ready for classes and you're thinking about it, go ahead and still complete this, get into the system, because you'll get, as you guys probably know, you get emails from me and I'll give you updates of when we're opening and what classes are opening. So that's kind of like where this is. And again, continue to feel free to reach out to me if you have classes and whatnot. Now, I will say this, where it says fall term registration open, the classes below, that's not updated yet. I'm going to be doing that on this weekend or early next week. So, and then if you look over to the right where it says downloads, that's where you'll find our program calendar. That's where you'll find our safety guidelines, those type of things. So that's where that piece is. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And then what we can do, I guess, there's different ways that AutismUp, basically is payments. So, unfortunately, we do not take like medical insurance or whatnot. We do take self-direction, and I will go over that process with you. Self-direction, I do, again, make it very easy for you to the point where, as long as I have confirmation, the initial confirmation from your FI that you have an active budget, and then you complete that form of who's your FI and whatnot, we'll bill them directly. As long as I have that confirmation, we try to make it very easy. So one thing I'll tell you is, if you want to register for classes and you go ahead and do that, unfortunately, the way the system is, if you kind of have self-direction, you can't kind of go past the registration without putting a credit card down or whatnot. So what I ask you to do is, if you have self-direction and you want to use that as a form of payment, email me, tell me the classes you want, and I'll register for you. Private pay, obviously private pay. We do have people that private pay for classes. Scholarships, we do offer scholarships. It's based on income, and it's also based on the amount of scholarship, amounts that I have left. So, right now it's really for each term for one person per term. Sometimes I can do two. So, it's based on income, and there's a scholarship form where those downloads are, but you can email me as well. I can give it to you. But the scholarships are, like right now, we're not using as many scholarships because we're just not right now. A lot of people are using self-direction. So I was able to give families, 2 scholarships for each person. But again, it really depends. There's no guarantees, but if you call me, I can talk you through that process. Family reimbursement, you can obviously use family reimbursement. I know we have a form, and I know maybe Kelly can talk more about it as well, but there is a way where you could submit your kind of what class you want, the description through OPWDD, and they might be able to even pay ahead of time for class with the family reimbursement. I think it's based on income or it might be economic hardship. I'm not sure what it is. I actually have the form. I think, again, Kelly, who's in here, can probably talk a little bit more about it. And that way. And then, so there's an OPWDD grant you'll see that's not approved yet, but we've been working with OPWDD, and there are definitely going to be in the fall. I'm just waiting for approval. There's going to be a few classes that are going to be covered fully through as long as you have a notice of decision and have been approved for home and community-based services. As long as I have your NOD, we'll actually bill OPWDD directly. I don't know. I can tell you most likely some of the classes that are going to be covered through that once I get approval. The social classes, AU Fit, art. Those are just on the top of my head. So there's some that will be covered by this grant. But again, that's not finally approved yet. I'm just waiting on that. So those are the kind of the payment options. I will say too that, what I tell you in every family, that even people that are doing scholarships or private pay, I give them the information through OPWDD's front door, and I want them to go ahead and start that process. The sooner the better. I had a family call me today that they're switching FIs, right between, who's responsible if you're switching between FIs. Well, talk to your FI, because you're still covered. It's a matter of who's making that payment. So I don't know. I think Kelly and we're going to maybe stop here and see if you guys had questions about, I know I went over a lot of information in the last half hour. Questions you have about classes, potential dates, payment options, anything like that.
Craig, there are some questions in the chat bar. Can you see those?
I can. Hey, Jackie, cooking with friends. Yes. So I've talked to Patty.
Okay.
And we're on the same page. I think cooking with friends is definitely a very popular class. And, that's a class which is really tough to follow some of those guidelines, because when you have 8 people in that kitchen it's not a huge kitchen. I mean, it's big. That's a tough one to follow those guidelines. And that's why I haven't been able to offer that yet.
Okay.
So, but that I will tell you, Jackie, when we do, I've already talked with Patty. It's going to be basically on the same nights, and we can touch base. I think I do Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Well, we had a question. I don't know how this affects it according to New York State standards. Does it matter if everybody in the class is vaccinated? Would that mean you could start the class sooner, or does that not matter at all?
It's good that people are getting vaccinated, but so we as an organization are not excluding vaccinated versus unvaccinated. So we're kind of keeping it the same. The GAC is the same as well. So we're following the same guidelines as if you were not vaccinated.
Okay.
Kind of like as Monroe County just came out now, they're strongly encouraging, even if you're vaccinated, to wear a face covering. I can tell you it's a tough one, because we definitely want to open that class. It's just a matter of when we can.
Right. It's just
but
like, it's one of those classes that's really hard to do virtual.
I know.
You know, you can't really cook like online in your kitchen at the same time if you don't have all the same ingredients and stuff.
Yep. So we do, you know, and I agree with you 100%. I mean, we do a baking class, which goes well, baking time virtual. But I think, you know, Heidi, cooking with friends is unique. I think the good thing about cooking with friends is, you know, it's almost a 2-hour class where they cook a really cool meal together. They socialize, they sit down together and eat together. And I think, you know, that's a very unique one and really something that can't be replicated over or virtually. So I think, you know, the baking time.
So assume that it might be virtual unless we hear from you otherwise.
Cooking with friends, we're only doing virtual. Or I'm sorry, cooking with friends would only be in person. The baking time is something we're doing virtual right now.
Okay, because I know like, well, she's still meeting with Cooking with Friends, but technically, you know, they're not charged for it because it's not like a typical class.
Yeah, that's not through us. It's just, I think they're doing it virtual, right?
Yeah, they meet every
Yeah.
Thursday at the time they normally would have in person.
Yep. So, yeah, I think it's a tough one. I was literally talking to Patty last week and we're on the same page. I think it's just
I think we're just confused because I'm like, okay, well, how come the baking says it's virtual, but yet like cooking isn't listed as virtual? What was the difference?
baking time is much different. There's cooking with friends is 18 and older, and cooking with friends is it's more complex of recipes, much more kitchen safety type stuff. So it's much more involved than baking time.
Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you, Craig.
Yep. So RIT, so swimming at RIT, I actually just connected with RIT today. So swimming, I'm not sure yet. They initially were potentially going to open up, but they told me today that they're not sure yet because of the COVID guidelines changing. So not sure about swimming yet. That is another one that I potentially could add to this list. But that's one that, you know, we're kind of at the mercy of RIT. And then also, we also want to see the interest in swimming. Swimming, towards the end, our last couple terms, we didn't have as much interest in in swimming. So we just want to see where the interest in, because that's one of the classes, given that we use RIT's facilities to make sure that we have enough enrollment. But I got to see where that is as well. But so if we can open that up and RIT is willing, there'll be more information on that. I think that's it. Oh, hold on. Social classes, yeah, in person, the 6 to 12-year-old girl power boy zone. Soon as we can loosen up some of the restrictions, we are doing the 12. Teen Connect is 13 to 15. I do have 12 to 15 in there as well. I will say, as you guys might know too, some of the age groups, I can be leaning a little bit by year or so. So just because it has a certain age group, feel free to connect with me. And we can kind of go from there. So all kids, so right now, do you have for an 8-year-old on Saturdays? So Saturday, so that age group is really tough right now on like just the 6 to 12. Usually we have a lot more to offer. But right now on Saturdays, I will say personal training we do. We do have a lot of personal training on Saturdays. It's not a group class. But right now, I would say on Saturdays, I don't have much right now besides personal training, because art is for a little bit older as well. And so let me think. Hold on a second.
Motion dynamics.
Motion dynamics, yes. That's so. I think you're thinking of in person. So Motion Dynamics is available on Saturdays, and Minecraft, but those are virtual. Motion Dynamics is a class on Wednesdays that's going to be open. So, some of the in-person classes for 8-year-olds would be Motion Dynamics. We have Minecraft in person. We have 2 classes actually for 6 to 12-year-olds for Minecraft. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's see. It's going to be 10. I think that's honestly, that's the most that we have right now for that age group until we can open up for all of our classes. But yeah, but I will say, and I know in person, I'll say it, in person's so much better, in my opinion, is better than virtual, but I would say it, and some people that have taken them, virtuals, I think we do a pretty good job with virtual, and I know it's not the same, but until we can offer everything, that's kind of some of our options. Yeah, there is a social group for 11 and under, but it's just not open yet. It's Boy Zone or Girl Power for 6 to 12-year-olds. Any other questions?
I have one other question.
Sure.
For like the personal training, I'm sorry, did you say that that's in person or is that virtual?
That's in person or virtual.
Okay. And another question I have is, are like the kids, do the kids have to wear like masks?
So for personal
Right now?
training, yep. So personal training, what we do is, you just have to wear a mask when you are navigating the building, but while you're working out, you do not have to wear a mask.
Okay.
So that's kind of up to you. Our personal fitness instructors wear masks, coverings, but while you're working out, you can take the individual can take their mask off. But if they're navigating the building, they just have to put it on.
Okay.
You know, and the good thing about personal training is, as I said, it's very individualized. It's grown, I don't know, 500%. It's definitely grown. And I think we utilize a lot of, you know, what I'll tell you, it's some people that are 8 years old. We have a 7-year-old, I think sometimes, where you think of personal training, you think of like, you know, weights, whatnot, but we make it to the point where the individual really doesn't know they're doing personal training. They're doing, you know, fun activities, but they're actually doing personal training. So we try to make it fun based a little bit for some people that it helps with. Fall schedule, Greg, probably by Sunday, this Sunday, and I will put it on the website, and I'm going to email to people that are in classes as a rollover. I will say if I do add on any classes like swimming or swim or, you know, those type of classes, they meant to come out after the initial enrollment rollout, so that I can just kind of plan for it. Thank you, Heather. And I think, you know, I'm sure there is kind of some frustration a little bit with not being able to open up for everything. And I think the good thing, I think with us and what we've tried to do is do it the right way. You know, I think as you'll see, some of the things are going back and forth with what the requirements are. I'm glad we continue to stay what we're doing, because I mean, I'm sure it's much harder to, you know, you've got somebody to wear a face covering for such a period of time, then they take it off and they have to put it back on. I think, you know, doing this the right way would work. Swimming's on Sundays. Usually over at RAT. It is at RAT. It's from usually 4:30 to 6, and it's in people have seen it. It's like a little water park. It's over near on RAT's campus. They have a lazy river, a vortex. It's pretty cool, spouts. So what I'll tell you about personal training and sensory based, you know, it's not therapy based. It's not physical training, personal, you know, those type of things. But we do work on some things that potentially could be sensory based, but it's not the focus. I think, you know, that's something that you would come up with the personal trainer on. You know, I think there's some things that are sensory and some fitness that are correlated together, and they could work for both sensory and fitness. So yes, so that could be, I wouldn't say sensory based, but we acknowledge that everybody has sensory needs and supports that are needed, and we look into those. But I will tell you, we don't do OT type work. We're not occupation. It's not like a one-to-one occupational therapy session or anything like that. it's interesting you said kayaking. Somebody mentioned kayaking today to me. So I think it's something that we might explore. I don't know. I actually went to RIT a long time ago myself. So it's actually, you're the second person that mentioned kayaking to me. So it's something that I'll explore with them. I still have a pretty strong connection with them. One thing, I used to play basketball a long time ago at RIT, and we still have a connection with them. So we're trying to hook up our basketball program up with RIT as well. Trying to get the team to work with us a little bit, and my coach who I played for is still there. So we were planning on doing some things during half times and kind of like little clinics, and then COVID hit. So we're going to re-examine that once things slow down a little bit. Yes, Greg, long time ago. So any questions? And again, I'll tell you, anybody, and hopefully people say this, I respond pretty quickly. So if you have questions, email, phone, I can respond, and I try to make everything pretty easy for you. I don't know, Kelly or Mary, if you've had questions in the past that parents have brought up, maybe they're not able to be here tonight, that I can help with.
No, but I would say if there's anyone on here that doesn't have OPWDD, doesn't know what it is, has OPWDD, doesn't have self-direction, Mary and I can put our email addresses in the chat bar, and you can reach out to us and we can help you get that started and talk to you about what it is.
Yep. And I would say the sooner the better, because it sometimes I think can take up to 9 months sometimes to get that situated. We have some people that take 9 classes with us, and they're all covered by their self-direction budget. So I think the sooner the better. As I said earlier, anytime somebody new comes to us and they want a scholarship or they want a private pay, I always ask them about self-direction. Are you hooked up with self-direction? If not, I send them the OPWDD front door information, or I'll hook them up with one of our navigators. They're excellent. So they follow up with you and can help you with that as well. But I know I keep talking, but I think be on the lookout, because as I said, some of those popular classes like Jackie was talking about cooking, or I know a lot of people are asking about exploring sensations. Felicia, one of our facilitators, she can't wait to be back. So a lot of our staff just can't wait to be back and be supporting you guys again. We miss everybody in the building. Saturdays we had well over 100 people before COVID. So it's missing everybody, but we are definitely, as I said, trying to add a little bit more classes each time. The running class that we had this summer was brand new, but it's a hit and it filled up pretty fast. And so it's going pretty, awesome, as well as soccer. So, and I encourage you guys to, if you have new ideas, reach out to me. I am more than willing and wanting to be creative as possible and add some classes. So just a couple of things I'll go on. I forgot I had more things to talk about. Recently, what we're trying to do is, as I said, our personal training has exploded really with the amount of people that we're serving. So we're constantly buying new equipment. We're trying to upgrade as much as possible. We just bought, as you can see in one of the pictures, a Jacob's ladder. So I think that, what's kind of cool is we'll have people come to our personal training and doing things, and we'll have to take videos. The parent will take videos because they're doing so much more than they're doing in school, because we know how to support a little bit better, or maybe they're willing to open up a little bit more. We've had people change IEPs based on what we're able to do. So I think we're continually looking at our equipment and what we can do, and not just kind of relax and kind of going from there. Our foam pit, we'll be opening our foam pit pretty soon again, even though we've had it closed for over a year and a half. But yeah, so those are just some of the things that we have. Some of our current setup, trust me, I know it looks boring, but some of it is just we had to social distance and whatnot. So, as I said, this is like, I think this is kind of our social classes, Alpha U, Teen Connect. we even do art in this type of setting, but even in our social classes, at least for 15 minutes after the lesson, we try to go back and do some of the unstructured work on those skills in a natural setting. We do the gym, we use the trampolines, those type of things. So we try to just not be, I'm sure it's not so fun just to be stuck in a room the entire time. So we try to move around a little bit when we can. Let's see. That's AU Fit class. That's the way our AU Fit class is now. Usually it's over 2 gym bays and we're running around. But again, we're trying to be safe and be respectful of the guidelines. Next one is our motion dynamics class a little bit. I guess I want to say it's motion dynamics. It's just, we have yoga mats and we have up to 12 people in the class. And that is on one of our most popular classes right now. Our instructor is a professional dancer and she has so much energy. It's just really, the word is dynamic, but it's very dynamic. And we do in person and virtual. So here's some of our personal fitness. Just gonna show you a couple of videos, kind of some things that we do. We do a variety. That's just one of those things. Now the girl right there, Lily, she is, I want to say 8 years old. So even somebody who's a little bit younger, we're just not, playing. We're doing certain things, but she calls it, I want to say ninja night or something, but she's doing a lot of work in a fun way. So that's that. She's still going. Let's see if she's doing something else. So we're working on balance a little bit.
Good job.
Well, this is a long video, so watch a little bit more of it. Now, I will say when Lily came to us, she just wanted to jump, run around, jump on the trampoline. And now with some structure, she's doing some fitness. She's doing fitness much more than she did before. So that's just that. Maybe I'll move to another video because now she's running. So move on to this. I just have a couple more. Oops, sorry.
Good job.
Somehow I can't go to it. Hold on a second. I will say, and I don't know if Kelly can say anything, but Tyler, when he first started personal training, that was not happening. Definitely a lot of progress on his end. Let's see this one.
9, 10.
So again, just some of the things that let's see if all right. So I think those are just some of the videos. We have many videos that, obviously with consent but again, I'm all about feedback. I encourage you to anytime to just reach out to me about classes or again, what you'd like to see different. And I guess questions. You guys have any questions?
I will just say, and Craig, this story, we talk about it a lot, but so my son, when I started in programming, he struggled. He was young, it was new, and I had been turned away from every other agency we had tried, saying they couldn't handle him. And I remember day one, I told Craig, I won't do it anymore. I know he was a big distraction. And Craig reassured me, no, it's fine. And now Tyler does great. He's tried a lot of different classes, and personal training is great for Tyler. Sorry, he's yelling. Because I talked to his trainer and I let her know what he's working on in school, and she's carrying it over. And so he's meeting his IEP goals quicker than he ever has. And he loves going into the building for every class.
Well, I think when you said I struggle when, like, let's say, somebody is taking a class and they don't want to, they don't like it. I always, I will always follow up with the family. Why, what could we have done differently? Why wasn't it working? I want it to work. So that's the goal. We're not going to turn anybody away. It's a matter of how we can make it work. Sometimes it's a progress. Sometimes it's a work in progress. Sometimes things do take time, but I think the ultimate goal is for us to be in a safe and successful environment. Any other questions?
I have a question. It's Allison.
Yes.
So many kids love Minecraft, but my son loves Super Mario Brothers, and they have Smash clubs at the colleges, and I actually took him to one when he was 13. They were so nice to let him play a few times.
Yeah.
But I just wish, don't any of these other kids play Smash Club too? Why is it always Minecraft?
So Minecraft seems to be very popular. Our virtual, we have 4 times a week, and we have some people that do 4 times a week with us, and our in-person as well. So that being said, I've actually been working with one of our people that work with us is a consultant with Microsoft, and I'm exploring a couple other options of Roblox and a coding class. So one thing I'm trying to do is really strengthen each kind of our discipline. So music, we're trying to incorporate music and bring on somebody on board to our staff that knows music very, very well, to the point where we can bring in all of our classes. Fitness coordinator, we're doing the same type of thing. Our staff are great, but I think it's really, each of them would benefit from somebody that has a lot more expertise about how to do this certain class. So we're looking at fitness positions, and that goes as well as a tech person. So we're looking at ways to build on our tech offerings. And so I know coding is something I'm probably going to start offering, hopefully once I get it set up in the winter. But those are kind of where, I haven't had a lot of interest yet I never even heard of Smash clubs before. But I think that's kind of, I think one thing we are going to do is, once things are open up a little bit more, we're going to have a teen night, at least once a month, every other week. Sorry, at least once a month or every other week on Friday nights, probably from 6 to 8 or something. And that's just going to include it's going to be like a hangout. And it's going to be, there's going to be food, there's going to be gym space, there's going to be, games, those type of things. We have a Wii, we have all that stuff. So I think, that's something that we're looking at doing, is just kind of a get together, and not really a class, but more of a get together. So we want to be able to utilize that space at the Golisano Autism Center. We have a huge space we can use on Friday nights and just have people come and hang out and socialize together. So that is an opportunity that something like that could happen. But yeah, so that's the plan. And again, I'm always trying to think of ways to do some different things, but I think coding will be pretty cool once we can get that up and running.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? So just to let you know, so this Monday, I am going to send like a rollover email. And again, rollover is for people that are currently in classes to save their spots for the next term. I know Greg mentioned, when's the calendar come out. I did have to change our Minecraft nights virtual a little bit just because of the way it worked out. But there's still going to be the same amount of options. But we're going to send that out, and then I'm going to open up registration to everybody on the 16th. But in the meantime, if you have questions or interest in classes and don't want to wait to the 16th, just connect with me, and I can kind of get you on the process of at least on the wait list. Not even a wait list, but soon as I open up on the 16th, you could be kind of the first person. So let me know, and we can go from there. Yeah, if you have no more questions, again, I think my information, Kelly, Mary know how to get a hold of me, unfortunately. And then, my information is all over the website too, but I've talked to most of you already. I've emailed you, or you receive my emails or text messages. So we kind of go from there. All right, well, I'm glad hopefully this was helpful. And I think my plan is to do this every quarter. So hopefully the next time I open up, all of our classes are open, and hopefully in the meantime, we can open up some of our other classes like Exploring Sensations, Cooking with Friends, all those type of things, bowling, prior to the winter. All right.
All right, thanks, Craig. So I want to remind everybody, or if you don't know, next Wednesday, so every Wednesday we are doing either meetups or workshops. You can find them under the AutismUp programs and classes. You scroll down to parent. We have parent connections, parent workshops. So next Wednesday from 6:30 till 8, we are having families with children up to 3rd grade for our playgrounds and popsicles night. You can sign up there on the website. And the following Wednesday, August 18th, it's for families with children ages 4th grade to 8th grade. And those are loose ages. We understand that you might have kids that fall under both, and that's okay. Mary, anything else?
No, I think, I would really look at those registrations for the playgrounds, for the playground and popsicles. It's an enclosed playground, if you don't know that. So it makes it a unique and relaxing experience instead of a stressful one. And there's lots of popsicles, right, Kelly?
Now, Kelly, is it true that it might be called, are they gonna bring Pop-Tarts and popsicles for this, or
I
no?
knew this was coming. No Pop-Tarts.
No, okay.
And one other thing, if you guys have never heard of it, we have Kite Flight on August 15th. It's a really fun day over at Seabreeze. AutismUp does a great job of making sure that our families are comfortable and they have sensory areas for us to just bring our kids to relax. It's a great way to meet other families. You can find out everything on the website or email Mary and I, and we can help you get started with that. But it is a great day.
Yeah, and some of our coaches, the staff, are going to be doing kind of helping out as ride buddies. So if somebody's nervous about going on a ride, we'll be there as well. So, but yeah, so
and
hopefully see you there.
Very understanding of our kids on that, especially on that day. So waiting in lines, we can kind of make some exceptions. So it's a very flexible and fun day.
All right. Well,
Thanks
thank you, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you.